Welcome to another exciting adventure of CIS 2555. This week we're going to be covering themes, and you are also responsible for site navigation. Program 2 is due this week, so I will be going over the slides for Chapter 10. I'm leaving the slides for Chapter 11, which I have uploaded, as an exercise for you. Also, if you want to look at the website that is in there, that is also important as well. The site navigation material basically centers around how do you, there are three major ways that you can make effective use of navigation in ASP, and they provide a lot of ways to make it easier. So you can choose which pages are actually show up in the site navigation, etc. And you can do what's called a breadcrumb listing, which basically goes across the top. You can use a tree listing, which gives a tree structure of the website, or you can do a standard navigation menu with pop-out menus as well, such as you can use the horizontal version or the vertical version. So I would say definitely read through the slides on Chapter 11 and maybe work through the material. But we'll focus on themes today. So it's a relatively short lecture this week. Chapter 10, I wanted to make sure you had ample time to finish off your program 2. Your program or your capstone project will be assigned next week. We'll go over some database related stuff. So let's get started. I'm sure we'll have our warning pop-up show up any second now. We always look forward to that. But to get started, we're going to be talking about themes and skins. So given a theme for a website, apply it as a customization theme. Given a named skin, apply it to a set of controls. And also we're going to know what the use of a theme is for, use of skins, including both default and named skins. Those are used with ASP specifically. Distinguish between customization and style sheet themes. And then in general terms, describe the way that themes are applied to websites and web pages. So right here we see that this is the theme we've dealt with for quite a while. This is called the BATS theme. So they broke it out into a theme essentially. And you have your navigation menu over here. You'll notice the links are in orange. You have the BATS image at the top, and you have these buttons with orange around them. In fact, if we open up the EX10 cart application that I have uploaded, you will notice that there's a different theme applied, which we'll get to in just a second. This is the spiders theme. Notice there's a vertical bar over here. There are two buttons that look different. The functionality is essentially the same. It is the same. What we have often when you're working in a team of web developers is that you'll have some people who are focused on the design, the front-end design, and you'll have others who are focused on the functionality or the back-end design. So in an effort to break some of that apart, ASP allows us to not only have the master pages like we talked about last week, but also to apply themes. So we break out the format and structure and the content, we separate them. So you notice this is the same website essentially. They just have different logos at the top, and also there's a different format and organization. However, the items that are available are the same, right? If you go over to the directory structure, you'll notice under app themes that you have the BATS theme that will be collectively interpreted as one single theme, and then you have a spiders theme. They each have an images directory with images inside them. They each also have, by default, you would have the name of the theme be whatever it is .skin, and then you have the corresponding CSS file, spiders.css, as well. Same thing for BATS. Okay, so we have two themes available to us. So you have one or more CSS themes or files, one or more skin files, and an image folder that contains any image files that the theme will require. So that's the folder and files for the particular theme. So collectively we would call things like bats and spiders, we would collectively call them themes. So they're collections of CSS files, the skinning, and the images. So how do we apply a customization theme? So the customization theme, and we also have Stylesheet themes. I guess we have to should go over the fact that they're a little bit different. A customization theme, when you use the theme attribute of the pages element in the web config file, you can apply the theme to all the different pages. Like it's shown here, where we have inside of web.config we would have system.web, then pages theme equals spiders. You name basically the folder that all the theme stuff is in. That applies it to all the pages of the application. So that's called a customization theme. You also have a Stylesheet theme. If you use the Stylesheet theme attribute, that's a Stylesheet theme. So they are different. These are two different types. When you use a customization theme, it overrides external, internal, and inline styles that are applied. But when you use a Stylesheet theme, it does the opposite. So that means that the external, internal, and inline styles will actually override the Stylesheet theme. So as you'll see, you can apply a theme to all the pages of an application or to just selected pages. So this is how you do it to all the pages of an application. To create a themes folder, you right-click on the project, select Add, and then add ASP.NET folder theme. Enter a name for the new folder. To add a skin file, you right-click on the folder for the theme in Solution Explorer and go to Add New Item, and select the skin file template and enter the name for the file. So we will see that in just a little bit when we work on that. You enter the SPX code for the type of control you want to provide a skin for, and then add whatever attributes you want the control to have, including any formatting attributes. So here are two examples. Here we have a default skin and a named skin. So default skin would be for you would anything that's a button, essentially. You want to apply this class right here from the CSS on any buttons. There's our friend. There are instances, though, where you don't want to apply that to everything. You might have a specific, you want to use the skin ID, so you would use the named skin in that situation. So, trying to give you a page reference here. Page 333 has some information on the named skins and also the default skins. Okay, so they do actually provide you. Actually, I would start on page 330. They actually have some information on that as well. The named skin, you just specify the skin ID attribute for the skin. Then you can use the skin attribute of a control to apply that skin to that control. The default skin, you don't specify the skin ID. The skin will automatically be applied to any control of that that type. So all buttons that don't have the skin ID property set. So it wouldn't just, if you have this and a named skin, this will actually override that, the default skin. A named skin for an image button control that also uses a formatting attribute. This is an example. So two ways to apply the skins. A control that uses a default skin, you don't add any kind of skin ID attribute when you make it, but then if you have a control that you want to apply a named skin to, then you have to specify skin ID and then you specify fancy button, just like they had back here. They had the fancy button there as well. And they give you the files for the bats theme. To apply a customization theme that we were just talking about before, you can just change in the system.web in the web config file. There's a pages theme equals. You just change the theme. If you want to remove the theme, you just remove bats here and make it an empty string. To a single page at a time, if you don't want it to apply to all pages, you can do it a single page at design time. You just use the theme attribute right here. You say theme equals bats, just like you would up here. To do a single page at runtime, now if you want to change this at runtime, you can say page.theme. So that's globally available within this class. And then you say equals sessions mytheme.toString. So you would take the name of the theme here and then say .toString, and it'll apply that name of that string. So it's pretty clever and it's pretty useful. So you can dynamically change the skinning of your website, the theme of your website, maybe depending on user preferences, or depending on what the user does, or something, or location. It could be anything. To apply a style sheet theme, on the other hand, you have to use the style sheet theme attributes to apply to all. For the single page at a time, you use style sheet theme attribute at the top of each page that you want to apply it to. And then to a single page at runtime, though, you can override the style sheet theme property right here. You'll notice this is public override string style sheet theme. And since there are no parentheses here, if there were parentheses here, we would say, well, this is a method, but there's no parentheses there. So that's automatically a property, and we're using the override, so that means that it inherits from a base class, and now we're overriding the functionality. So for get, we're just returning the theme name. For set, we're setting it to whatever value that the user wants to set it to. To apply a skin to a specific control, you can do it at design time or runtime using this here. And how to remove them, you just basically set the theme to an empty string in all three of these examples, whether it's all the pages of an application at design time, a single page at design time, or a page at runtime. Okay, then removing a custom theme from a specific control. Enable theming, set it to false. From control at runtime, you set the enable theming, and then you can set the CSS to something else as well. Alright, that's pretty straightforward. We're going to do an example using the exercise 10 cart. They have you go through it at near the end on page 339. They say to open the exercise 10 cart and look at it. You'll notice that if we run this, oops, I think we're still debugging it. You'll notice that when we run this, after you set it to IIS and set the startup page, that it's using what we would call the spider theme, right? This is not the theme we've been dealing with since day one. This is actually quite different. However, the functionality of the page would be the same. You could still make the functionality one way. The people working on the web development side of things would not have to worry about this, what theme you're applying. You come up, or the design people will come up with the theme. You might end up, or come up with the theme. You might end up being the design team for the front end. So they work on making it pretty. The developers in the back end worry about making it functional. So currently, you'll notice though that this is the spider theme. So it's a different look than what we had with the bat theme. So what do we want to do? Let's change it to the bat theme. So if you need a reference to this, page 335 actually shows you exactly, and so do my slides, but page 335 shows you how to change the theme. You just go under Web Config right here, and you'll notice that it currently says spiders right here, right? So it says spiders. You're going to change that to bats. When we change that to bats, run it in the Internet Explorer, it changes the entire look and feel of the application. You've got the orange boxes here, the vertical bar is gone, you've got the navigation as in orange over here, and then the logo at the top is quite different actually. So you still have this at the bottom, but things have changed orange. It's a very different theme than what we were dealing with. So let's change some things. Some more stuff that we're going to change that they want us to change. Let's see what they want. They say create a new skin for the bats theme named links.skin. So we could use page 331 as a reference here to create a new skin under bats. Anything under this folder will be interpreted as one of the skins that needs to be applied. So I'm going to right click here on bats. Oh, I think yeah, okay. So we've got the bats theme here. I'm going to go to page 331 just to use as a reference. All you have to do is right click. Oh, I'm sorry. I might have goofed. No, that's right. Right click on the folder for the theme and select Add New Item. Okay, so add. You could just go to Add Skin File, by the way, but you can go to Add New Item, and then you can select Skin File right here. Okay, so I'm going to name this particular one. I think they said link or links. Let me see here. Just want to make sure it's right. Links.skin. I hit add. And what they want you to do is they want you to add one default skin to it for hyperlink control. So default skins, you'll notice that when you generate a skin file, they actually give you an example of named control skin and also default skin. So here's an example. All you have to do is name it. So you say ASP hyperlink, that is the control name, run at server, right? And that's and then CSS class, they want you to set that class to link, and we're gonna fix that in just a second, and make it actually, point to something essentially. And then to the bats.css over here, I'm going to actually add a link class right here. So inside here, I'm going to put border is 2 pixels, solid, black. Then I'm going to put padding, 0.25 ems and 0.5 ems. For text decoration, you're going to put none. Display is block. Just block. Okay. So for anything that has this class applied to it, basically anything that's a link, if this were just normal CSS, even if you were just using it is normal CSS, the CSS is, but if you're just using CSS normally, you could apply manually the link class, right? But if we go back to the skin, you'll notice that you have basically told ASP anything that is a hyperlink, okay, because this is a default skin. Anything that is a hyperlink, as a server control, after you generate it, I want you to apply the link class to it. So let's run this and see if it looks different to us. Right, so the bats theme has been applied. And I probably have to refresh it. Yeah, if you refresh it at the top, you'll notice now that the links now have blocks around them, right? So you've got the borders around them. So this does look quite different. You can very quickly and easily update your theme. So that's one thing. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the CSS, bats.css, and we're going to make it, just to show you how easy it is to make things look different. I'm going to add this rule right here to add a vertical bar, border left, 2 pixels, solid, and then we'll make it this color, FF6600. All right, that's all we want. We just added this one rule right here, so anything that's a section in the theme that uses bats.css, since it's the name of the theme here, it's going to be the theme that's applied. Anything that uses that, or that is a section, is going to be applied with a border left 2 pixel solid. So we've got the one section in the middle, so it should put a vertical bar, and it does, and it gives us this orange color. That's the FF6600. So we got a vertical bar here pretty quickly, right? So if we wanted to change it back to the spiders, you just put spider in it, and it would change to a completely different theme. So I'm going to encourage you to spend some time in this chapter, because there's a lot of really cool and interesting things you can do with it that a lot of people try to spend hours, making everything look nice. But if you're familiar with some of the stuff that goes on in things like Dreamweaver, you'll see that ASP actually provides you with, you have to be more of a developer to use ASP than you would Dreamweaver, but you will notice that they don't ignore details, and they don't ignore being able to basically apply themes and apply common look and feel across the site very easily. Okay, so it even supersedes just using CSS by itself. You want to make sure that the different buttons or different controls, buttons, etc., links, etc., have certain themes applied. So you can do it on the back end, and when it generates the code, it will generate it with the appropriate CSS and other theme elements applied. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Again, go over chapter 11 as well, because the site navigation stuff is actually pretty interesting. And they also talk about ASP.NET routing. It's not quite the same as what you're used to with the term routing if you've had the network class. It's a little bit different. It has to do with making links a little more what they call friendly. Or SEO friendly. So it does go over SEO a lot. It's a hot topic right now. So if you have any knowledge of SEO, it'll enhance your resume significantly, and you'll be able to impress potential employers. So the friendly URLs that you can come out with using or that you can create using ASP.NET routing actually will improve your SEO. So do go over that. I'm leaving that as an exercise for you. So again, this has been a pretty short lecture, but I know you've all got your assignments due this week, so I didn't want to overburden you too much. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, jpbaugh@oaklandcc.edu. Thanks, and have a great day.